for the first time since 2007. They are the Philippine Cup champions, Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel.
Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings assistant coach Richard del Rosario was one of the early proponents of the PBA bubble. He presented a detailed proposal on how to do it at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Not a few dismissed it, thinking it was impossible to do. Well, look at where we are now.
The PBA bubble has now come to a close, confetti falling down.
The Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings are the champion of the PBA Philippine Cup after disposing of a hard-fighting TNT Tropang Giga crew. But not only did they beat a worthy opponent, they also beat the odds. The early injuries to key players, the unprecedented circumstances, the challenges of being locked down, the absence of rabid cheering fans. And surviving all of those only makes the title even more satisfying. Tawagin na ang buong barangay. That's the headline on tonight's Sports Page.
Barangay Ginebra, for the first time in 13 years, are kings of the Philippine Cup.
The hottest headlines.
The Integral issue.
Who will join the pantheon of the great?
What's the outlook of the future of sport?
The game changers.
The history makers.
The stories that make sports eternally compelling.
Open the Sports Page.
Indeed, who would have thought that we'd get to this point? We are here to celebrate the championship of Ginebra, which is a unique championship, of course, because it was done inside the bubble. Our guests for today include members of the team, assistant coach Richard del Rosario, who had a boodle fight where he, when he got home, where he invited no one and his family was there. And the excuse, of course, is social distancing. Jared Dillinger is with us. Jared, we will know at the end of this program whether that beard goes or not. Kinito is going to ask that question most likely. And then LA Tenorio, mabuhay ang bagong tatay uli, and LA is a father all over again, and he of course won the best player of the finals conference. Tapos si Kinito, who has a million questions for all of you, and he reviewed all the stats for this, of course. But I will ask the first question. Richard, how satisfying is it that from your concept nung bago tayo mag-umpisa to winning this championship, what does it feel like to complete that route?
Well, you know, I've been getting a lot of messages. Didn't realize that I got a little bit emotional when we won the championship, and a big part of that is because I really, totally invested myself in this, championship from back in May when yung sinuggest nga natin yung concept, and then I totally thought wala na and back then, marami ring, mga tumitira sa akin, masyado raw maraming alam, nakikialam, member raw ba ako ng IATF. So it was very difficult because we just wanted to help. And then when they finally agreed to at least explore the concept of this bubble, nabuhayan ako, and then I talked with Commissioner, tried to offer some suggestions also with regards to venues. I presented him with some parties that were interested in hosting this bubble, and even trying to look for basketball courts that we can assemble in those venues. And then when it finally happened, parang it was so surreal. Every day I was waking up inside the bubble, and I was really very thankful that this was happening because lahat nagkakaroon na ng trabaho and everybody was enjoying the games in their homes. And when we won it, parang it was just a culmination of all the emotions and the hard work that everybody put in. And I was very thankful and grateful to the PBA, to Commissioner, Board of Governors, finding a way and having a very successful PBA bubble.
Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, congratulations sa inyo lahat. My first question is, kumusta naman yung emotion in your homecoming? On two fronts. First, coming home to your families, and second, coming home and meeting up with Coach Al, Francis Chua, and of course, San Miguel Corporation President Ramon Ang. How was that homecoming? Richard.
Richard first. Yeah.
Well, it was really very, very comforting. First of all, when you got home, of course, after 2.5 months, exactly 73 days kami dun sa bubble, and you wanted to really see your families back, and lahat sila they gave a little bit of surprise. I see the post of other players. Yun nga, sa akin, they surprised me with that, because before, when I was in the bubble, they had that at home with one of the Sunday dinners, and ingit na ingit ako, and then they did that for me when we got back, no. And then kay Boss RSA and Boss Al naman, Boss RSA stayed for a long time with us, no. Talaga nakipagkwentuhan siya, spent a good 30 minutes or almost an hour with us, and he was so happy with us winning the bubble. We were so grateful with the support, kasi nga even before the bubble, no, when we didn't have a tournament, tuloy pa rin naman yung salaries namin, and it was us giving back to him and sa lahat ng ginawa niya, not only for in the PBA but for the country in general. At least nabibigyan namin siya ng joy rin, no? So it was a great meeting with him.
What about JD? What about your homecoming on those two fronts?
Oh, geez, why'd you have to ask Coach Richard first? He speaks so well, and he covers everything so well. It's hard to talk after him. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Kenito. It's been hard processing everything, given the situation of pandemic and this 2.5 month frenzy that we did at the bubble, and now being in our homes. It feels a little odd being at home. I'm not going to lie. As soon as I got home the other day, I was still calling some of my teammates with having separation anxiety, saying, hey, how are you guys at your homes? You guys okay? You guys want to play Call of Duty? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what to do with my time right now. So it is a little bit trying to just decompress, process everything that we accomplished together as a team. Just like Coach Richard said, when we got to go see Boss Al and Boss RSA, sitting down in the room with them, just debriefing them what we did and what we experienced together, and just so grateful, just how Coach Richard would say, we're just so grateful to be here. We're so blessed. Just to have this championship for the fans, for the country, it's like cherry on top.
What a Christmas!
Right? What a Christmas! What a Christmas it's been. So it's been good vibes this whole time, and I can't say nothing but good things. So it's been great so far, fellas.
LA, ikaw naman. Kumusta naman ang homecoming mo? Alam ko malapit ka kay Boss Al. Nag-uusap ba kayo during the bubble? At nung finally nagkita ulit kayo with Boss RSA and also with your family, ano na ba ng emotions that went through your mind and your heart?
Yes, we always talk naman. Me and Boss Al always talk after the game or before the game, especially during the final, especially during the semifinals and finals. No, he always parang parati niya tinatawagan before and after the game. Actually, before coming home, medyo may konting kaba or yung parang ibang feeling before you go home. Parang you don't know kung ano yung magiging pakiramdam mo pagdating mo sa bahay. So ako, pagdating ko sa bahay, it was late in the afternoon and the kids are all awake. Napaluha nga ako kasi they were all excited. They were all excited talaga. My boys, because they watched the game. Natuwa lang ako kasi medyo naiintindihan na nila yung basketball. Every time I talk to them in video, parang I have to tell them that daddy has a game, you have to watch, gano'n. And then when I came home, yung excitement nila, hindi nila ako pinakain muna. Alam mo yun, hindi nila ako pinalis dun sa tabi nila. It was so, yung feeling na yun, parang hindi mapapantayan yung feeling na yun. So, sobrang tuwan-tuwa talaga ako. I was very happy, and I feel blessed that time na yung nagawa ko despite of what happened to me, to our family during this pandemic. Marami kaming yung nanganak si Mrs. Tapos nagkaroon ako ng setback ng konti before entering the bubble. Diba? And then after that, ending, we won the championship, and then I have the finals MVP. My family was very happy, na sobrang tuwa sila. We're so blessed, and we're very grateful talaga na nandyan si Boss RSA and si Boss Al to really support us. Binigyan nila kami ng comfort all throughout the bubble. Lahat ng request namin, even nasa bubble kami. Ako, pag may request ako kay Boss Al, Boss, padala mo naman ako ng San Miguel products dito, yung pagkain. Kaya padala niya ako everything na kailangan namin for the team, para ma-share. They're very supportive kahit nasa bubble kami. So nung pag-uwi namin dito, we're very thankful talaga. Yun lang yung balik namin sa kanila, yung sukli namin sa lahat ng binigay nila sa amin all throughout this pandemic. Diba? Nakita kami, masaya si Boss RSA, masaya kami na nakita namin siya na nakangiti all the time.
It's interesting that in this championship, LA Tenorio, who performed so well, I'm sure he was not thinking of the individual award. That's most likely what he will say. But what was interesting is that he won it against some of his own teammates as well. We'll find out how interesting, how intriguing that was when your sports page returns. Really been an emotional roller coaster. Richard, take us through those moments. Let's talk about Game 5. Medyo lumaban talaga yung TNT. To the credit of TNT, in spite of their problems with personnel, they gave you quite a fight. Were there tense moments that, hey, maybe this isn't going to end tonight, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, everybody before that game, everybody was expecting us to win, and not within our team, but people outside of our team because of the injuries with Bobby Ray and with Jason. And what sa amin, what we were talking about in the dugout is, we have to temper our expectations, because we cannot come in there and expect just to win, because we might forget what effort we needed to make in order to win. And you saw, it was evident in the game how Talk and Text was really fighting. That was an amazing effort by Talk and Text. They were so energized, and even without Parks and Castro, it was so difficult. And kasi ang sinasabi nga namin, because probably if you would expect that you would win just because yung two players were not there, if they get a lead, and then you'll get so disappointed and depressed, you might not have the energy to get back in the game. So kailangan talaga ita-temper mo lang yung expectation mo and just focus on what's right in front of you and just play it per possession, because we kept on saying we just needed to win 1 point by 1 point in order to win this championship. So hindi yung tambak, hindi yung ganito. So we just had to put in all the effort there.
Finito?
Nung tinignan ko yung mga statistics, nakita ko that in 4 out of the 5 games sa finals, TNT led starting the 4th period. Now, for any coach, that would be a worrisome trend. Kayo, na-nervous ba kayo? It seems that was the trend. TNT would have the lead starting the 4th period in 4 out of the 5 games, including the Game 5 clincher. Ahead sila starting the 4th period.
Yeah. Well, we weren't really aware of that. We didn't really talk about it. But syempre, every time you enter the 4th quarter and you're behind, may concern ka. But as long as it's a manageable lead na kaya naman mahabol, so we were just focusing on how the whole time we were preparing for Talk and Text, we were really preparing how we can slow them down, slow down their offense, because they were so disciplined. They knew what they had to do. They set up Pogoy really well. Aram was magnificent. Talagang lumabas yung laro nitong si Aram. And Troy found his confidence again. That's what happened dito sa 4 and 5. But again, as you said, hirap talaga kalaban ng Talk and Text.
I want to ask JD. Nabanggit na ni Richard about JD starting. The entire conference, JD, you didn't start until games 4 and 5. How did Coach Tim break the news to you that you were going to start in game 4? And how did you take that challenge? Did it put extra pressure on you? Because looking at the stats, it looked like you responded really well.
Thanks, Ganito. Well, Coach Cohn, he downplayed it pretty well. We were at practice the day before we had game 4, and I was doing just my normal mobility work on the ground, and he just kind of skipped along toward me and whispered to me, "Hey, JD, just letting you know we're going to start you game 4. So, all right, get ready, buddy." And then he walks off. And, you know, to me at this point in my career, I still did my same routine. I still prepared for the game the same way that I would if I wasn't or was starting. And yeah, I took it as a challenge. Like, hey, I got to step up and do my job and do it to the best that I can and have some fun with it at the same time. We're in the finals in this crazy bubble, so let's just put it all out there. And it really, to be honest, I really didn't think of it anything other than just, all right, I'm starting this time. All right, let's get ready for this one. And that's it. I wish I could tell you it was something crazy or there's some big moment of adjustment that I'm going to do with my routine, but it was the same old, same old.
LA, matanong kita, no? Game 2. Scoreless ka the first 3 quarters. Tapos tong 4th period, you scored crucial points. Nag 5 points ka dun sa 4th period. Nanalo kayo by 2. How do you manage to keep yourself ready? That even if you're struggling offensively or if you're struggling in any part of your game, by the time your team needs you to deliver, nandun ka?
Siguro lang all throughout my career lang talaga, Sir Dean, I'm not really the type of player that really score a lot, katulad nga na sinasabi sa akin ni Coach Tim parate. I can really dominate the game by not scoring. I have a lot of my mentality kasi, especially now, my mentality now is really to involve my teammates right away and feed them na para makuha kagad nila yung rhythm nila, like now Stanley, Japet, especially Japet. I know Japet for the longest time na kailangan talaga niya ng rhythm from the start of the game to get going the whole game. And I think all throughout my career, yun ay natutunan ko na maging yung composure, not to be, not to panic. Even though I don't score, I don't really look into that. Bottom line for me is to get that win and to lead the team to victory. I mean, whether it's a pass, whether it's a defensive stop. My point of career right now, yun yung mentality ko So, siguro people are saying that I won that MVP not because of my scoring and my spectacular plays or whatever, or yung mga 3-point shot in the end. It's not that For me, it's not that. I think ang mga nagugustuhan ko sinasabi ng tao is the leadership that I had all throughout the series. Kasi yun naman yung role ko dito sa team, especially right now as vets, JD, Joe, JD, Joe, and I consider Japet as a vet now. Those kind of play, doon ako natutuwa, not because I made that spectacular play. I made my teammates look good and the team, di ba, manalo kami. So ako, Sir Dean, really, siguro yung may composure lang. And of course, because of my experience din, I don't, even though I struggled the whole game, basta hindi pa nagbabuzzer, and then, in the end, it's really the trust of Coach Tim and the coaching staff sa akin. So imagine, even though I struggled the whole game, we were down 15 points and the second group, of the bench players made the big run for us. When they made the run, me, Japet, and Scotty were on the bench. It was JD, Jeff, Stanley, and Prince. And then yung crucial part of the game because of the trust din siguro, the trust of Coach Tim and the coaching staff sa akin. I just have to make sure na I make the right decision. Yun lang yung sa akin.
We'll have more when your sports page returns. We're talking about LA Tenorio. He was one of the last players to enter the PBA bubble. This was after when he underwent surgery for his appendix. And of course, he had to leave his wife who had just given birth to their new daughter. In the start, he was looking for his rhythm. But he's not the Iron Man for nothing. he quickly regained his form and made key contributions throughout the playoffs. Of course, none bigger than during the finals, where he made big shot after big shot and masterfully steered Barangay Ginebra Kings like a conductor of an orchestra. Eventually, he was named Finals MVP for the 4th time. Not bad. 36 ka na, LA. Wow. Tumatanda na tayo.
26.
Okay, 36 years old and coming off surgery. In the end, he was one of the last players to leave the bubble. And sure, he wouldn't want it any other way. That's our sidebar.
Chard, I noticed that in every game in the finals, Ginebra had more free throws made, more free throws attempt. Now, is that because you guys are more aggressive going to the cup and that you're getting fouled a lot? Is it because TNT shoots a lot from the outside and therefore you don't foul them as much? Or is it because the referees are looking favorably towards you? Anong reading mo?
Meron ng soundbite yan di ba? Nung sa semis.
Yan mga coach, ibigay mo yung coach.
Oo nga I mean, sila yung well, yung TNT naman, they commit the most number of fouls even before the finals. Sa bubble, they commit the most number of fouls in the bubble because we have Japet. We always look inside. We want to dominate. One thing that we needed to do was to dominate inside, and yun ang mindset namin if we want to win the championship, and that's why we're trying to be aggressive. We were never, even before siguro si Stanley came in, we never really relied on our 3-point shots to win games for us. And as a matter of fact, if we take a lot of 3-point shots, we feel that we're not playing our game. We're settling too much. And nawawala yung aggressiveness namin. So we always preach, we got to get the ball inside first before outside. And I guess, because our bigs do a good job sealing inside the paint, and sometimes they put the defense in a bad position, so they have no option but to foul. So that's why we go to the free throw line a lot. And even hindi lang sa bubble conference, even in the previous conferences, we were never really known as a team that gives away a lot of free throws because si Coach Tim, fouling is not good defense. That's what he preaches. Even yung mga breakaway fast breaks, marami sasabi duty foul. For other teams or other coaches, they might say it's a good foul kasi hindi pa sa penalty. But si Coach Tim would really get mad at you if you do that because ang sinasabi niya, you have to sprint back on defense. Go back on defense because if you just foul in, because you don't want to put in the effort of sprinting back on defense, which is not a good habit. And later on, it will bite you in the end because of that foul. And then you end up in the penalty early or you foul out of the ball game. So yun ang philosophy of the team. That's why ganun ang nangyayari sa stats once you look at it. Then syempre, iba sasabihin sa referee. So but again, may mga times kami naman yung una rin na penalty.
Nabanggit mo yung 3-point shooting. Was it a conscious effort on your part, on the team's part, to hold down, to clamp down on the 3-point shooters than TNT? Because in 2 games during the finals, they took more 3-point shots than 2-point shots. And a 3-point shot is a lower percentage shot. But I also noticed that in game 2, which you won, TNT hit only 26.2% from 3. In game 4, they shot only 27%. And then in game 5, where you clinched, they shot only 17.1% from the 3. So was it a conscious effort on your part to really hold them down defensively from the 3-point range?
Actually, you can't stop TNT from taking 3-point shots because that's really part of their game. What we wanted to control was the quality of their shots. We wanted those shots to be contested all the time or as much as we can. If we give them an open look, then that's one thing that we always preach. We cannot give them open looks. You cannot control the number of shots because that's what they practice. That's what's their system. They're going to find ways to take those 3-point shots. But the most important thing is what kind of 3-point shots are they taking? So the quality of shots. So dun kami naging conscious. But also TNT shot high from the 2-point field goal also. One time, parang 56% yata sila. So that was a concern. 58. So, and also a concern was their offensive rebounding because their guards really went for offensive rebounds, and it gave them a lot of possessions, and a lot of their 3-point shots would come from offensive rebounds also. So yes, it was a concern, but we also accepted the fact that we cannot really stop them from taking 3-point shots, but we can control the quality of shots that they took.
Who were you more threatened by, R.R. Pagoy or Jason Castro?
Both. I think both. Not only those two guys.
Imagine that
Troy,
question. Choose your poison, ano ha?
wala kang pipiliin doon eh. Even si Troy, I mean, even when he was struggling in scoring, we knew we couldn't wake up a sleeping giant, and that happened in Game 3. So lahat sila.
Yeah. Can I ask JD? JD, how special is this championship for you? You've had several in your career. This is your 5th PBA All-Filipino title. How special is this one this time?
I'll probably cherish this one pretty dearly to my heart, just given the circumstances of not knowing if we were going to have a job coming into this season. You know, given this crazy pandemic and so many people struggling and battling with their own situations. And, you know, given my situation, I had so many relatives pass away during this pandemic, unfortunately. And coming into the season was a little bit of a question mark because I was so injury riddled the past seasons. So making it all the way to the end, winning a championship, being engaged, playing alongside my teammates, I'll never forget this one. And I know it's such a loose term that we say, like, oh, I'll never forget this one. We won. But just as close as I got to be with my teammates, and it truly did feel like a brotherhood inside this bubble, getting to know each other on such a deeper level. It's really special, and it had so much fun while doing it, and definitely not taking it for granted.
As always, in most media, we lack time, we lack space, and your sports page does not have enough pages to complete the discussion of this championship of Ginebra. Please look forward to part 2 of this discussion with the champions of the bubble of the PBA. In behalf of all of us here, thank you for joining us in this first part of 2 parts here on Sports Page.